What you're talking about?
Dirty.
That doesn't sound like anything to me.
Oh, it's because your mother might see this.
Well, I hope she might listen to it.
She might listen to it. Oh dear. Are you refreshed? Oh, why should I got a water actually?
Why? Because it's all about your voice.
It is, yes.
Yes.
It is kind of that.
What's to it now?
Well, it is. So now I have to just hope the voice carries.
Would you like to get some water?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
But if I start to sound like...
Then I won't tell you.
But you'll hear it.
Everyone will know.
Welcome to the first ever Story Worth Telling podcast, which I really think should be called Story Worth Hearing or Listening to.
No, a story worth listening to has no sexiness about it whatsoever.
I think it's quite sexy.
I don't think it's sexy at all. I like a story worth hearing.
Hearing. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
what about a sound worth telling?
Now you're just taking words and you're throwing them together and hoping that they're going to work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe we don't name this podcast. Wait,
why not?
Did I just say podcast?
Oh, did you just use the P word?
I think I just used the P word.
We'll let
it wasn't penis.
Oh, that's a shame. We'll let the audience decide what it should be called. But if you are joining us, yes, this is brand new content, and I think we just thought we would do this because we don't often get to just
listen to ourselves. Again. What a surprise.
No, wait, we sound great. What are you talking about?
You should probably introduce yourself for those who are listening.
Yeah.
And maybe aren't familiar with your dulcet tones.
Excuse me?
That's a compliment.
I don't know what dulcet means, to be fair.
I think it means like smooth and chocolatey.
Smooth and chocolatey.
Yes, just like smooth.
And chocolatey.
And chocolatey.
Okay, I'll take that.
Rather than jarring and...
Why not say your smooth and chocolatey tones then?
Well...
Because that way I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Yes, okay, introductions. We are a story worth telling.
I meant yourself. They won't know whose voice is speaking.
Oh, okay. If you don't know who this is...
Idiot!
If you don't know who this is Alex. I kind of went a bit Nigella there. I'm not really sure.
The microwave.
In my microwave.
And I'm, of course, Josh.
Yes.
But you already know that.
You do know that. Otherwise, why are you here?
Yeah.
Anywho. And yeah, this is an opportunity for us to, I think, generally go beyond specifically talking about specific shows or anything we're watching and have wider discussions. And also it's an opportunity, I think, for our lovely viewers and people who...
And listeners.
And listeners. And hearers. Is a hearer a thing?
No.
Okay. To kind of come to us with things that they want to hear us discuss, really, and talk about.
Okay.
And you're saying okay, as if you're not
I don't know
convinced.
what we're doing here. No, I think that's right.
Am I selling it to you as well?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, I
fine.
think, if you...
Okay.
We'll obviously have, topics and things that
Yeah.
we want to talk about, but then also it's an opportunity for people at home to kind of say, what, I fancy a discussion about that.
Well,
Because
exactly.
that's how it all started. It was, wanting to light the fire, light the spark of discussions about LGBTQ plus representation.
All right.
See how I
Albert
brought it
Einstein
back
over
there.
there. Yeah, well, while we're on the topic, yes. I think
Totally unscripted.
Totally
by the way.
unscripted.
Yeah, totally unscripted.
Yeah, I think it's a good point to kind of bring back to why we started this channel in the first place and sort of explore that that sort of question as why are you talking about representation? And people always ask this as well, and I really desperately...
Do they?
No, they do.
Okay.
People ask, and they go, how did it start? And I desperately want to lie and say, oh, it was me. But I know the truth is, it was you.
It was me.
Well, how was it you?
How was it me? Well, we were in lockdown. I remember.
Terrible.
Everyone remembers that. COVID.
Yeah.
COVID, love.
I remember that.
It was 2 years ago, but okay.
I was very young.
Were we bored or just poor?
Well, both really.
Both bored and poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'd done a little bit of.
Oh, you dabbled.
I did some dabbling.
You dabbled.
There is evidence out there of
there is.
previous
If
dabbles.
you want to find any of Josh's previous works, I will post all the links.
You won't. You won't.
Have you discarded, burnt them all?
That's a story worth deleting. That one. Anyway, so yeah, I did a couple of reaction-y things, and the whole premise behind that was watching. Oh shit! I've forgotten the show. Oh, we might swear a bit. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
10 minutes in, and by the way, there's a swear warning.
What was it called? Oh, 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons Why. Okay, I've never seen that. What's that on?
What?
I've never seen it.
Really?
No.
It's a Netflix show.
Is it good? Apparently not.
No, it is good. It's intense.
Okay.
A little bit kind of traumatizing, I would say.
Because there's 13 reasons why it's traumatizing.
Well, we're getting off track here, but it's about it's about a high school girl who kills herself.
You had to go so British then, didn't you? And silently go.
No, she does. She kills herself.
Okay.
And she leaves behind some tapes, 13 tapes.
Oh God!
Explaining the reasons that she chose to make that decision.
Oh.
But anyway, I told you it's traumatizing.
Dark, yeah.
But there's a scene in that. There's a character in that who is gay, or at least kind of questioning. And there was one scene in particular where I remember pausing the show, and I was with my partner at the time, and said, "That's just not how it is at all. That scene just totally was bollocks."
What kind of scene was it though?
I don't know. It was just like a kind of. I think there was a really dramatic moment. Like, it's getting dark again, but I think there was a. I can't even see now. It's so dark. I think there was a high school shooting incident.
Oh right.
Okay. And I think he was hiding, and he was hiding with the guy that he was seeing at the time.
Right.
And they were like the way that they were interacting and kind of basically expressing their love for one another in that moment of kind of fear and panic, whilst a unique situation.
I was going to say, I mean, it is very unique.
was just totally weird and not. I was just like, that is really jarring, and I don't think that's good representation of, being gay or being with a person of the same sex.
Right. Okay.
So, from that point onwards, I thought, well, is all representation good, or is maybe some of it good and some of it bad? Maybe some of it misses the mark completely, and that could be because of acting or scripting, or maybe it's just a bad story. And then I pitched the idea to you.
You did. I didn't think it was good.
No,
I did. I was joking.
I think it's fair to say you had your doubts.
I did have my doubts, but I think very much as the light bulb moment, as you described, kind of hit. It is that kind of thing where initially you're like, oh well, surely it's been done, or surely someone else is talking about it. But actually, no. Like, doing a bit of research, there isn't a lot out there that specifically addresses what you see in media, specifically, TV and film, and kind of comments on whether or not it's what you're seeing is good, is useful, is helpful, or is negative, is bad, is kind of counterproductive for the community in a way. So I think you touched on something there, Josh. I
did.
You had an idea.
A really light bulb moment.
Yeah,
a eureka moment.
Absolutely.
But I think you're right. There wasn't a lot out there at the time. I mean, there's plenty of reactors and plenty of kind of queer
Oh,
reactors
yes.
as well.
Because we don't like to call ourselves reactors, do we?
Well, we are.
But we are.
But I think
We're reviewers.
Reviewers, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Because
I think
that's not snobby at all.
We try to, obviously enjoy ourselves watching the shows that we want to watch, but also try and add a bit of discussion and a bit of perspective.
Added value.
Darling.
Every little helps.
Yes. So a bit of that, really.
I'm probably going to get copyright for saying that. Isn't that Tesco's?
Every little helps. I thought that was Asda.
Well, no, we're definitely copyright.
No, that's Asda price.
Oh, Asda price, right.
Or is it little? Every little helps.
I'm not... Oh, it could be that. Let's not make it worse.
Little on... Yeah, no. It's not a game of catchphrase. This is
Well, yes. I think that's it. We try to take what we see and I guess give something back and contribute and kind of open discussions about it. And it is important. We live in an age now, especially where there is so much LGBT content.
Yes.
It's always coming out. Every other character. Hey, I like what I did there.
Yeah, nice.
It's always coming out. But it's true. There's so many programs now where representation is everywhere, but do we necessarily think it's the kind of representation that we're seeing? So let's not, let's have discussions about it. And I think
there's a culture at the moment of just throwing in some gay characters.
There is.
And I think that really gives a bit of a sick taste in the mouth.
I can see the fingers going right now.
I don't know why my fingers are going.
A sick
vomit flavoured taste in the mouth, because it's a bit it feels like ticking a box rather than taking that opportunity to really tell it from a queer perspective.
Absolutely. And I think sorry, just
rearranging your headdress,
adjusting the headdress.
Yeah, you look like a
disgruntled
pelican.
A disgruntled pelican, David. Where was I?
Where were we? Oh yes, me.
Oh yes, more about me. Yeah, I think you're right. There's a lot of ticking the boxes, and I think the problem with that is that when you do have a genuinely good LGBT specific show that's trying to tell a story and do it in the right way, it can get lost among all of those other shows that are just throwing things in or trying to tick boxes. So that's why you come along to things like us, where we talk about it and we'd let you know that. I mean, it's just our opinions at the end of the day, but
it is.
Having discussions about it can kind of separate the what's
wheat
the phrase?
from the chaff.
That's the what?
The tops from the bottoms.
Oh yes.
Yeah. The wheat from the chaff.
That's actually very bottomist.
The bottoms from the tops.
There we go.
Is that even any better?
Yeah.
I think that's the same. I think that's exactly the same. No, we used to actually do a rating.
We did.
I think we brought that in kind of fairly early on, and then we kind of forgot about it. But we'd had top tier.
I think that's because we kept getting everything 9s or 10s, and then we had.
Maybe that's because most of the things that we have reviewed in the past have actually been pretty good.
They have been. There's only been a couple of things that we've reviewed. Oh, he shall not be named. It was James Corden, though. Yes. That were bad. Oh, there was the adverts one as well. If you are watching, if you know our channel, we did one on adverts of queer representation, and that one was hilarious but quite shocking.
It's quite an old video now. Actually,
quite an old video.
Maybe, yeah, we should do a refresher on that kind of thing. I think
we should.
If there's any examples of very poor representation that you've seen at home, then you should let us know, because then we'll do those, because I think they're as important as the good ones.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, I think a lot of the poorer representative content is typically older stuff. Like you get people bringing up Friends and how that was a bit transphobic.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Homophobic as well.
But then it's kind of important to talk about those things, because you kind of get that sense of perspective and that sense of history, and to look back and go, okay, well, what was right and what was wrong? What should we avoid doing?
Yeah.
But then also you do get to see things that were kind of progressive for their time, and kind of a little bit new and exciting, and
What else?
And new. I don't know.
And new.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny though, because the first one that we did was It's a Sin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we timed
Yes,
it.
that was our first.
It was an interesting timing because when we decided, when I finally was like, you know what, I will do this for you. That was a huge, huge show that came out. And that was a huge show that also made so many people who wouldn't normally watch LGBTQ specific content be like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. That really affected me.
It really went around. Like it was very popular at the time.
It did.
Yeah.
And again, I think we were very complimentary about it, but it kind of was of the moment and that time. And looking back at it, I'm like, if I watched it again, would there be anything that I might pick out? Or so it
Really?
constantly,
You think?
yeah, well, it constantly changes. Like you never know. Things do perspective wise, they change as they go. But it was great. If you've seen it, obviously,
That was our first ever video.
yeah.
Back when we had like a Nokia 5 as a camera. Oh god, it was awful. If you can wade through the pixels,
No,
it
don't,
is,
honestly.
It is a good watch.
Oh no.
No,
it was bad.
good. That was the early
It
days.
was
We did. What else did we do?
I mean-
Brokeback Mountain was a very early feature.
I could hide all my skin imperfections in those videos because it was so grainy.
You couldn't.
I could fuck off.
Not very northern there.
Fuck off, mate. Ever since we've been filming in 4K, all I can do is see
4K.
spots everywhere.
Well, this is show business, darling.
Oh right, okay, yes.
Yeah, really, we should be
Showbiz.
plastering on the makeup.
You wouldn't be seen dead with makeup. Let's be honest.
Do you use makeup? In the day-to-day setting, rather than I'm going to put on an eye for this. Is that what they call it?
Put on an eye.
Yeah, is that what they say? I'm going to put on an eye for this. No, it's not what they say, is it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know when you put on a smoky eye or something? Oh, I'm going to give it a smoky eye
Oh,
for this,
okay.
for this
yeah,
look.
yeah. For this look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bless.
We're a fan of fancy dress. Do we call it fancy dress anymore? Costume party, themed parties. Let's call it
Themed
that.
parties.
Adult themed parties.
If you follow us on any social,
Sorry, no, not adult
absolutely.
themed parties. Themed parties for adults. Just to clarify.
Well, they could be adult themed
Well,
for adults.
a smoky eye.
I'm putting on that eye.
Anyway,
Well, yes. If you follow us on any socials, you will see that we do get up to a lot of camp magic.
we do. We like a dress up.
We do like a dress up.
And shout out to our friends who really.
Dress up with us.
Well, no. They do dress up
They
with
do
us.
dress up with us.
But I think they really wanted this to happen, and they've made it happen. And now it's a vital part of our friendship group identity is how well we do parties.
Oh yes, well,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but also it's one of those things where if you started it now, you can't stop it.
Well, we could recycle some of our outfits.
Absolutely not.
Well,
That's
okay.
forbidden. One is not allowed to
Plain
recycle.
Forbidden.
What was that?
It's a bit of German for you there. Anyway, we're getting off.
I was going to say,
Getting
why are you
off track.
talking about parties?
Are we getting off track, or do we not have a track to begin with? We've lost it.
We have lost it. We do this a lot. We will end up doing this a lot, where we just talk about random shit.
But that's okay.
But eventually, we do generally find our way back to normality.
Yeah. So why don't we talk a little bit about the journey that we've had from where we started in kind of the content that we've done, but also like what's happened as a channel. Is that interesting?
Well, it's come. Is that?
I don't know,
I
is that
love that you're
interesting?
asking me that, even though I'm part of this, and
Well,
you're like, "Is that interesting?"
If you're not interested, turn off now.
Turn off now. No, we have come very far. It's been 2 whole years.
Yes. I think we started in around kind of end of February, so yeah, it's probably just over 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's been kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Slapping your leg.
What? I can't help it.
I'm gonna feel the beat.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry,
Of course, yeah.
I forgot it's a podcast.
Yeah, because we did a couple of shows. We did Little Nas X.
Oh, that
and
took storm. Yeah.
whatever. What was that thing called? Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name.
And that like skyrocketed the viewership for the channel, which was like a really encouraging like first couple of months, because it meant that we had that momentum to keep it going and think, hey, this could actually work. Because otherwise, you hear people starting their YouTube channels and they put out like 40 videos or something and they don't really get anywhere because it's not being picked up by anyone. But we saw that immediate like, hey, people are watching our stuff, and that was very cool.
And I think as well, like the community, if you like, that we have built up with this channel has kind of fed back to us, because a lot of what I see now, especially when we do videos and we're talking about stuff, we are doing exactly that. We're talking about things and people comment back and they agree and they want, or they disagree, and they want to generally talk about what we're talking about. So it's kind of it's a really like engaging community. I've never like almost.
I did not anticipate.
No, I didn't either. And sometimes I see
is.
things and I see people commenting or like putting across opinions or views and stuff that I'm just like, it surprises me sometimes. Like especially on our Discord, if anyone is on that channel, like it's a beautiful little community of people who they may have come together through our channel, but it's almost just grown in of itself and become this kind of amazing community where people are talking about everything they see. It's not necessarily always LGBTQ specific.
It's so cool.
So it
people
really
sharing
has
links to things.
Yeah,
and like
I like memes.
shows,
The meme
memes,
pages is my
memes
thing.
as well.
But yeah, it really has kind of become a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
It slowly got very big,
Very big, very
fast.
Yeah,
And now we're in this lovely position where we have a lovely community who can feed back to us and, almost steer us on what kind of things we should be
because we need steering.
watching, and we do need steering, because as you can hear,
We're a car crash.
a little bit. A little bit. But it was nice, so we started growing that community very early on, and I'm sure there's been some people who've been with us from the start, which is really nice.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, if you have, I'm sorry
journey.
you've had to deal with this for 2 years.
Well,
I mean, I've had to deal with it for 2 years too, just speaking to Josh the entire time.
well, look, I don't think that's fair. Might as well be talking to a mirror.
Excusez-moi! It's a fucking gorgeous mirror.
The Mini Mink show.
Yes.
And then I kind of we did some of the hit shows. So we did Heartstopper last summer, which was crazy.
That was, I mean, and that's the thing as well. Like, things come in waves, and people you don't like. It's almost amazing that we've kind of got on this journey of like we're talking about queer stuff, but actually like there'll be waves in time, like moments of time where like something will just hit and everyone's talking about it and it becomes a huge thing. And I think that was an amazing journey to go on.
Heartstopper was a moment.
And to even just be a part of it and comment on it was like kind of really, really, really wonderful. Just seeing so many people engage with content that like just blew up.
It generated such a like ridiculous fandom.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how
and it shows you
how passionate
well,
people
that's the
are
thing,
about
and it shows
these
you
things.
how important seeing oneself on screen represented is a beautiful thing. Or even if you just fancy Nick and Charlie.
Nick, well,
it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, no, it's really special. Yeah, that was a beautiful moment. So we've done a lot, I think, in our time on this channel. I was going to say planet, but
planet. Well, last 2 years perhaps more than others. But then, recently we also kind of picked up the pace a little bit. I think we can talk about that, can't we? Like we've started.
I don't know what we're talking about. So
what?
Well,
Well, I'm still talking about us.
Well, no, I know that, but I don't know what you mean.
Well, very recently we had the joy to work with one of our friends who's doing some editing for us.
Oh, yes.
And it's meant that we can put more videos out to everyone.
We are a conglomerate.
A conglomerate.
A business.
A business?
No. A factory.
We are a production line.
We're just producing. No, yes. Well, it's ramped things up, and it's great to work with your friends. Friends. Yeah, we have kind of stepped things up. I think recognizing the importance of what we're doing and kind of like addressing it, because for a while we could not keep to a schedule. Let's be honest.
No, we kind of got a bit lost, and it's quite easy to.
Yeah, and then you have the commenters who are like, "Where the fuck are you?"
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for slapping us upside the head and going, "Please produce more stuff." Because now we have a schedule, which we still struggle to stick to.
Yes,
but
well, the themed parties get in the way.
The
They're
theme
back
parties,
to the parties.
the theme parties.
They
Oh
do-
my
they do
god, it's
sometimes.
all about the theme parties.
Yeah.
They're the problem.
Yeah. Well, we can't not party. Let's change the schedule.
Don't be ridiculous, honestly.
So no, that's been nice, and it's meant that we can cover more things as well. Because obviously, if we're doing one show and it takes us a couple of months to get through it, then that's great. But if we can do like 4 times as many shows,
Okay, that's not that crazy.
in the
now.
same. Well, no, it's true because we can effectively do double what we could before,
That's true.
and that's great because it means we get to watch new shows like Scam, which we,
Scam, yeah. I mean,
Scam's
that was a
great.
crazy one because we didn't even like register that, and so many people were talking about it. And this is why I think, especially going forward for these podcasts as well, like having you, the listener, the viewer, your engagement, your suggestions is so important to what we do because we don't know what to do necessarily all the time. We've got a list of stuff, but is it stuff that you want to hear about, you want to talk about? Things that are very current are often things that are important, but equally, Scam was something that came out years ago, and actually people are still talking about it, and it's hugely popular, for good reason. I mean, it literally destroyed us.
Excellent.
It
yes.
was excellent, yes. So yeah, it's we love to hear what you have to say. Basically, is where I was going with that.
Yeah. That could have been summarised in about 10 seconds.
But yeah, no, it
That's
is a journey, and I'm trying.
We're just starting. We're just beginning.
Are we just starting?
Well, I feel like this is the start of a story worth telling. We've thrown the kitchen sink at it. We've got wait, we can't say that.
I'm not saying anything. Oh,
No, we will talk about the kitchen sink.
No. Okay, well.
No, I mean, so we're trying to expand, and we're trying to kind of create a hub and a community and a place where people can come and talk about things, get together,
choose
and really connect.
Yeah,
over this glorious content.
Absolutely, and they get to choose who is their favourite between the two of us. And let's be honest, we all know the answer to that. So,
should we do a poll?
No, I'm too insecure. I don't want to do a poll.
A damaging thing.
That would ruin it. Yeah. Okay, let's not do that. Anyway, I think to sum up this moment in time.
Right. Sum up this minxy minute.
We should
spit it out, man.
I don't really know. I was just trying to find a way of wrapping up
you want to wrap up
a brand new content piece like this.
Maybe we should do some kind of some kind of sound ASMR. Should we do some ASMR?
We're not doing fucking ASMR.
We're not doing ASMR. That makes me quite sad. I was quite excited for saying.
We're not doing fucking ASMR.
Look, if you want ASMR,
no, we're not doing.
You only need to tell me.
God. Okay. Anyway, if you want to hear more of a story worth hearing / listening to /
we'll come up with a name.
We'll come up with a name. Let us know what you would want us to discuss. There's so much out there that goes beyond TV shows and all that. There's proper deep discussions that we can have that are about
Dare I
representation.
say politics?
Politics. Well, that could be a thing, but also
international affairs.
My mother told me never to bring up politics at a dinner table, and while we may not be eating, that is a table.
That is a desk.
Okay, well, you know what? Fine.
Well, What else can we talk about?
Well, lots of things. We could even talk about what your favourite colour is.
Let's not do that, because you won't like my favourite colour.
It's disgusting. It's yellow.
It's yellow, yeah.
I fucking
It
hate
is
yellow.
It's yellow. Yes. No, but there's so much stuff we can talk about.
There
like,
is.
There's like movements in the UK at the moment to remove like LGBT literature from schools and classrooms, and there's there's
drag bans going on in the US.
Bans,
like,
there's all sorts of LGBT issues that we don't get to necessarily discuss through watching some of the shows and things.
We don't, and what's also important is that those discussions and eventually those topics and what's going on will, at some point, have an influence or filter down what you do end up seeing on TV.
It's true,
and I think acknowledging that and acknowledging how we can change that narrative and we can discuss it for the better, always great.
I agree. Well said.
Oh, thank you. See, that's what I wanted to say before.
Well said.
But it just came out as well.
Well, this is why we haven't edited.
Zibbit.
Not for these though. Are we gonna edit these?
No, I don't think we need
just
to edit
spew
these.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we do say something naughty,
Then
just spew
we're
it
finished.
out. We're cancelled.
Then it's over.
Anyway, we hope you enjoyed, and yes, let us know what you want to hear. This was a story worth telling, and
Episode 1.
have episode 1 of the untitled
A story worth telling
podcast
thing.
Yeah, that'll do.
Maybe we need a sign off. I think
A sign off.
No, not White Lotus. More like what about well, now all I can think about is Jennifer Coolidge. You've done that.
Okay.
No. What about Yas Queen?
Oh, because that isn't an iconic gay sign-off slang.
Who says that? Who says Yas Queen as a sign?
Every fucking drag queen
Right.
imaginable. And
Miss
gay.
Benji.
No.
Miss Benji.
See, we're already getting into copyright territory. Right.
Is that copyrighted?
It's probably.
Awful.
Anyway, we'll come up with a sign-off.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. We're getting cancelled.